It's not just you. No one wants kids anymore. And I don't mean fewer people are having kids these days.
Well, I'm 31, I'm single, and I don't have any kids. Neither do I want any kids.
Imagine coming home from like a stressful day of work and there's someone in your fucking house who's like asking you questions like, what are we eating for dinner? Shut the up.
I don't want to have kids because I want my money to go towards more important things. Me.
I mean, we are living through one of the sharpest, most global declines in birth rates in human history. South Korea, Italy, Japan, the US. The numbers don't lie. This isn't a phase, it's a shift. And today, we are unpacking why. Because when an entire generation collectively decides that parenting might not be the part of the plan, that's not just a personal choice. That's a societal redefinition of adulthood. So whether you're on the fence, firmly child-free, or wondering why your parents keep asking about grandkids, this video is for you. Let's start with the facts. In the US, the fertility rate just hit a record low of 1.62 births per woman. That's well below the replacement level of 2.1 needed to maintain a stable population. South Korea is at 0.72. Italy and Japan, also critically low. Even countries that offer free childcare, long parental leave, and financial incentives aren't seeing much change. So clearly, this isn't just about the money. It's about something deeper, a shift in values and priorities and how we define a good life. And if you're feeling conflicted about all of this, even just exhausted by the whole idea of kids, you're not alone. If this already resonates, take a second and drop a comment. Are you planning to have kids? Why or why not? I want to hear your take, especially if you feel like you're in a weird space between maybe one day and absolutely not. And if you want more honest conversations about modern life, hit that subscribe button. This channel is for people who ask deeper questions and don't settle for surface level answers. So let's keep going. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the money. According to the USDA, it now costs over $300,000 to raise one child to age 17. And that doesn't even include college. If you adjust for inflation, we're creeping towards $400,000 easy. That's a house, or 2 decades of financial freedom, or early retirement. And that's just the direct costs. Factor in the opportunity costs like the lost income, time off work, slow career growth, and the number just balloons. For women especially, the financial impact can stretch for decades. Studies show women's earning drops significantly after having a child, and that gap doesn't close. It becomes part of their financial trajectory. It's no surprise then that 56% of Americans without children say the reason is simple. They just don't want them. But when you dig deeper, financial stress is one of the top deal breakers. And let's be honest, it's hard to imagine bringing a child into the world when you're already stretched thin by rent, healthcare, student loans, and a job market that doesn't reward loyalty or longevity anymore. Add in the growing pressure to pay for extracurriculars, college funds, summer camps, and everything in between, it feels like the price of parenting has just become luxury coded. But the money isn't the only thing. There's also time, energy, autonomy. A growing number of millennials and Gen Z aren't looking to settle down. They are looking to build a life that feels whole, free, and flexible. Travel, creative work, side hustles, health and wellness. Things that, to be real, are a lot easier to pursue without a 24/7 responsibility that can't be postponed or paused. Me, for instance, I've been to 70 countries because I like meeting people, I like exploring, and I like learning new things that they don't teach you in books. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I had a kid. And that's not selfish, that's modern. We have moved from survival to self-actualization. And in a world where we have more choices than ever, not choosing parenthood has become a valid, even empowered decision. People want to wake up when they want, go where they want, spend their energy on goals that inspire them. And right now, that doesn't include building a nursery. Some are building businesses, some are investing in wellness, some are living nomadically. And for the first time in history, that's possible on a global scale. You heard it before. You'll change your mind. You'll regret not having kids when you get older. Maybe, but the data suggests otherwise. Studies show that people who choose to remain child-free are just as satisfied, sometimes even more with their lives than parents. Why? I mean, because it's not about kids or no kids. It's about alignment. When your life reflects your values and your choices match your priorities, that's where fulfillment comes from. And for many people today, kids just don't align with what they are building. Regret is often based on expectations we never truly choose. And many people are waking up to that. They're asking themselves, do I want this? Or was I told I should want this? That question alone changes everything. Let's zoom out for a bit. Why is this such a global issue? Because systems that used to support family building, like housing, wages, healthcare, community, are either broken or outdated. You can't tell people to have more babies when they can't afford rent. Childcare costs more than college, and parental leave is a luxury, not a right. And then don't forget about student loans that follow people into their 40s. At the same time, expectations around parenting have changed. It's not enough to keep a child clothed, fed, and loved. Now you're expected to provide Montessori toys, feed them organic meals, save for private school, and attend every soccer game, recital, and therapy appointment. Parenting has become a performance, and many feel they are not equipped for that stage. It's also worth noting that urbanization has changed how we raise kids. Fewer people live near extended family, which means less support, fewer community ties, and less intergenerational help. So raising a kid feels lonelier and a lot heavier. Here's another factor people don't talk about enough. It's hard to find a partner you're willing to actually want to raise kids with. Apps were supposed to make things easier. Instead, they made people feel disposable. If you want more information on this, check out my video on how dating apps are not designed for you to find love, but to keep you engaged on the app for as long as possible. 75% of people say it's difficult to find someone who share their values on parenting, finances, and lifestyle. And even when you do find someone, building a stable enough life to support a family takes years, if not decades. By the time you get there, you may not want kids anymore, or your window has closed, or you've grown into a new version of yourself that no longer craves parenthood. Modern dating is marked by burnout, and raising a child with someone whose values are unclear or misaligned feels risky. It's easier to delay or just opt out entirely. Let's look at how governments are responding. Countries like Japan, South Korea, France, and Taiwan have thrown billions into pro-baby incentives, like free daycare, cash payments, extended leave, and it's not working. Because the decision to have children isn't just financial, it's emotional, it's psychological, it's social. In short, it's about optimism. People have kids when they believe the future is bright and that they'll have the support to raise that child well. However, right now, many people don't feel that way. And throwing money at the problem doesn't build trust. It doesn't rebuild community. It doesn't erase anxiety or make parenting feel less overwhelming. In fact, some governments are starting to panic. Italy has declared a national emergency over low birth rates. Cities are emptying out. Schools are closing. Economies are shrinking. But the cultural shift still continues. Here's the big question. Is this a crisis or is this a evolution? Maybe it's both. Economists are calling it a demographic time bomb. Fewer workers, shrinking economies, more retirees than taxpayers. But at the same time, this shift may be pushing us towards a more intentional society. One less driven by pressure and more by purpose. Fewer people, but more fulfilled people. Fewer families, but stronger chosen families. Less defaulting to tradition and more designing lives from scratch. And with AI potentially taking jobs, maybe less people in the future is needed. I don't know. I'll do a deeper dive into AI and jobs in the future. But maybe we're not in decline. Maybe we're in redesign. And maybe, just maybe, the next generation won't be smaller because it's weak, but because it was built by people who made conscious choices about what mattered most. Think about that. So no, it's not just you. No one wants kids anymore. And it's not because people hate kids. It's because we're questioning everything. What does success look like? What does happiness actually mean? And who do we want to become? And if kids fit into that vision, that's great. But if they don't, that's okay too. Because the most responsible thing you can do isn't to have children because you're supposed to. It's to live in alignment, to build a life you're proud of, to know what matters to you, and to choose it fully. If this video gave you something to think about, drop a comment. Tell me where you're at with all of this. And if you want more honest, modern breakdowns of the world we're living in, hit that subscribe button. So I want you to stay sharp. I want you to stay true. And remember, not wanting kids doesn't make you selfish. It makes you self-aware. Till next time, peace.